Eric,
No tweeting unless you're here.
Eric, what were your overall thoughts on how your team came out and played after the lengthy break?
Well, I think we're getting better. I was happy tonight offensively. I mean, it's hard in a college game to score 106 points. UNC W is a really talented team. I mean, they have two high level players. And, I thought we did a really good job for most of the game defensively. Obviously got to get better defensive rebounding. And, it was a good way to end the non-conference. And obviously we see the impact that Keon can have, and we're a different team with his energy out there and his basketball IQ. And, we missed him the games that he wasn't a part of our team. We recruited him with the thought that he could score. And also, I didn't think he hunted his shots tonight, which you really don't say that about a player that scored 32. I thought all of his shots were great. 17 free throws attempted is a lot. This game took on a different meaning than, like how we played was a little bit different based on matchups and so on and so forth, but really pleased with our offense and want to continue to get better defensively, although we knew that this team was a really, really good offensive team that we played tonight, and super excited about only 8 assists and only 2 in the second half. So really excited about how we took care of the ball against a team that does, create turnovers. I said, yeah, my fault.
I knew what you meant.
That's what happens when you get old.
You mentioned Keon scoring, but he also had 5 assists. I think at least 3 of them were the lobs. Is it surprise you at all that he has that timing down with the teammates? I think a couple of weeks ago you said he was working primarily with the scout team.
Yeah, I think he's just he's just an innate baller, like I mean, he probably, you could probably throw him on any team tomorrow, and he would figure it out. He's just sometimes there's guys like that like he's got unbelievable court awareness. We need him to practice a little bit harder. We need him to, to improve in some areas, but his teammates really like him. Like they like playing with him, and you can see that. And we like coaching him. He's got a great spirit about himself. And yeah, the assist both with him and I thought Devo played great. I thought T-Mark played great. I thought they were really efficient, but Devo 6 assists and Keon's 5, 11 out of that spot, important for us.
Muss, when you look at what Keon's brought to the table in terms of starting the second half in the previous game and then starting both halves of this game, 161 points your team scored. I noticed the quick twitch, shiftiness, and being able to get numbers advantage. He gets by the first guy, and now your spacing's good all of a sudden. What dynamic, other than just his point production or stats, is he bringing in terms of spacing and pace?
Well, he just he's so quick with the ball, and he's got great basketball IQ. He sees plays before they happen, which, back to Hutch's thing on the lobs, I think he just naturally sees plays develop, and we felt that way when we recruited him. I was kind of amazed for a freshman, the way that he could read the second, third line of the defense, and he's really good in transition too. So, I mean, he does make us a much different team that plays with much different pace.
And then follow up on the hustle plays. I know that's been maybe problematic in previous games, maybe some trouble areas at some spots, but it seemed like just getting on the offensive glass earlier, diving to the floor. What did you see out there? Maybe that was different than previous.
Yeah, I thought we played with great energy. I thought we played with loose ball awareness. They take 28 threes, so there's going to be some long rebounds and stuff. And certainly their backup center, number 23, he had 6-0 boards. We got to do a better job in that area. But, coming into the game, I mean, if you would have said we scored 106 points and won by 16, I think that we would have signed up for it,
Did you know that was the largest winning margin since Gardner-Webb in game 2? I don't know if you're aware of that. Y'all won that by 18.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we played tonight, Kevin, for the most part, 40 minutes, I think this team is, I've said it over and over that this team really practices hard. And this team has great shoot arounds. And I think that the second half of the last game and then tonight, I think we've played, the last 60 minutes has probably been our best basketball of the year, other than the 40 minutes against Duke. So I think we're moving and trending in the right direction. And now obviously things change, big game on Saturday against Auburn, and would expect this place to be absolutely bedlam, would expect it to be sold out, and expect incredible energy in the building in Bud Walton on next Saturday afternoon, which is going to be, our guys will be excited to play in that environment, and we'll all want to be a part of the start of SEC play.
Eric, before I forget, how's KB doing, and what happened to him exactly? Was it an ankle, knee?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle. Yeah, he was deemed available if needed.
Feel like he'll be okay for Auburn?
I think that if they, told me at halftime he's available if needed, I would expect him to be ready to go on Monday.
Okay. And then
could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot.
Yeah. Well, sometimes stuff swells up. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Keon, I know everybody knows he was good. Otherwise you wouldn't have brought him in, but to get 32 points in his third game, just how impressive is that?
Yeah. I think it's been important for him to sit and watch, see where we have some areas that we could get better at. Like I said, his teammates' body language, like they're looking for him, and so I think the confidence level that the teammates have with him is much more important than the confidence that I have with him. Those other four guys out on the floor, they want to play with him. They like to play with him. And I think that's a big part of any point guard, quarterback, catcher, and baseball. Like, all those things are important when you're kind of in a leadership position.
And then, Devo, he had points, rebounds, assists, steals, really filled up the box. Could you expand a little bit more on your thoughts on his all-around game? Then Jalen Graham, I think, had a season high. If you could talk a little bit about Jalen's.
Thought Jalen Graham was great tonight. I really did. He's such a really, really special offensive player. I thought tonight he did an admirable job on the glass. He had 6 boards. So thought he did a good job rebounding. He knocked down both his free throws. Free throw percentage has been a little bit problematic because he does have the ability to draw FTAs. But thought he played really well. Thought he played within himself. 7 of 11 from the field. 2 of them they kind of rolled around off the lip of the rim and could have gone in. Thought he played a really, really solid game. And then Devo was his best game of the year. The assists were really important, especially when Keon was scoring the ball. We needed another distributor. He did that. This is the time of year that Devo elevates his game for whatever reason. He's got some biological clock that says, all right, it's getting close to January 1. I got 8 weeks to play and turn it up. So hopefully, he did it a game earlier than last year.
A couple of weeks ago, Coach, you mentioned how you were disappointed with the team's pace of play, and especially over the past 3 halves of basketball, that's gone up. Keon's the obvious starting point, but I'm wondering, is there anything else you've seen from the team that's kind of contributed to the pace being at a higher level and something you want?
Yeah, we've been showing a lot of NBA clips pre-practice, just of teams running, teams playing with pace, teams moving the basketball, sharing the ball. We had to do that a couple years ago, right around this time. And then, we added our opportunity break that we did not have in. For whatever reason, we didn't put that offense in right away. I think that's helped us as well. Just the point guard kicking ahead, and it's, an early offense that the Spurs ran with Tony Parker for many years.
And how much does that pace kind of correlate with, the assist numbers going up and the turnovers going down?
Yeah, I think when you're playing out a secondary break, which is what we call our opportunity break, and then we added our open offense. Open offense is a 5-man passing game. Get the ball out of your hands in point 2. I think that's helped our assist go up. And I think it's helped our scoring go up when the ball has eyes and you allow the game to, you share the game. I think we've been sharing the game much better than we did earlier.
Eric, would you believe me if I said that this was the first game Devo's had multiple steals this season?
Yes. The reason I would believe it, Scott, is because, I mean, I told him the other night, if you do not have one steal in the first half, you and I are going to have a serious conversation at halftime. And he didn't have a steal. And so, I mean, the 3 is what he should have because he's just too good defensively and he's got too good of anticipation. So that's an area that we need him. We want him jumping passing lanes and the 3 steals were huge tonight.
And that kind of leads into my next question. There was a sequence where he really good anticipation to get a steal, maybe on a post entry transition layup. That seems like him, like vintage him, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, he's done great job guarding the post. I mean, I thought tonight in the limited, we played pick and roll coverages 3 different ways tonight. I was really, really happy with what we did defensively in pick and rolls. Super happy. We went plan A, plan B, plan C, and we did a really good job. I mean, Phillips had a phenomenal game. I think he came into the game with 1 made 3. And our game plan was to try to get him to take as many threes as we could get him to take. And he went 3 for 4, but you live with that. But that was the game plan, was to try to get him to, to not shoot mid-range and not shoot layups. And he did a great job knocking them down. But the coverage, even though what might look like to a fan, well, the guy made 3 or 4 from 3. Well, that was the game plan, was to try and force him to beat us from over the top instead of get to a sweet spot.
Janae Harris, who and played a whole lot. Just what was, I assume it's a part of the game, but what was the thinking and the reasoning that
Yeah, we knew that they did it. A lot of it was psychological. All right, you're coming in with 5, we're coming in with 5. And I mean, I can tell you every time they sub that way against Kentucky, 16 something, 12 something, or 13 something. And we worked on what we wanted to do. And I thought those guys we told them it's going to be a minute and a half that's it. And I thought the guys came in and, D Harris had a ball that maybe was thrown slightly off target, but he had a layup or a dunk potentially. I thought they did a great job. We did a good job when White caught the ball with that group, because that group had completely different rules for 2 minutes than everybody else. Super pleased that they were able to execute it. It didn't have a lot to do with the game, but I think our guys liked it. 5 guys had a role that they knew coming into the game. Joseph knew he was going into the game. As soon as they subbed, I said, do not look at me. And we worked on it. We practiced it, where our scout team sat at the scorer's table, 5 sub. We talked about matchups. You got to point to who you're guarding. And these are the first 3 plays you run when you're out there. And like I said, Harris had a dunk on one of them. So super pleased. That's why we did it.
33 of 43 free throws. Just how big a deal was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. We wanted points in the paint. We wanted free throws attempted. We talked about zone 1 tonight being all paint points. That's what we called paint. We scripted the first 11 plays. All 11 were supposed to be zone 1 shots. We took a couple threes that we'll dissect and talk about, on Monday. But the free throws attempted and paint points was the game plan coming in. So 43 FTAs, awesome. Converting 33, super awesome, 78.7%.
And then what'd you think of Trezarian White? I guess he kind of lived up to the hype.
Awesome player. But I was also really happy with how we played him. I really was. I thought that first half we were phenomenal. He had 2 field goals. We shrunk the floor. We had our hands up. Obviously, we got a little bit of a lead, and then they started going downhill. He started drawing free throws. At that juncture, we just didn't want to give up 3, so we were hugging up at the 3-point line. That allowed him to dribble drive. We were switching everything. So he got some bigs on him and some switches. He did a great job, but super incredible basketball player who's got a real knack for drawing fouls.
It's got one more, and Curse had one too. I know you guys have been practicing hard all week, but usually when teams don't play a game in 9 days, they show some rust. You guys shot the ball well, took care of it well. Look real sharp to me. Look like you were playing every couple of days or something. Just
When you
think
practice as hard as we did, Bob, there's not going to be any rust. Trust me.
okay, well that's good.
I was not worried about rust tonight. I might be Saturday, but not the way we've been practicing. Well, I thought he was really important going into the game because they do play small ball and they moved their small forward at one juncture in the second half. They took Harden Hayes, number 3, and moved him from the small forward to the center spot. And at that point, we played TB at the center. And I think that allowed some extended minutes as well. He doesn't like playing the center. I can tell you guys that. I mean, he'll look over at me and say, put a center in, get a 5-man in here. He didn't do that tonight. And I think he recognized, how they were playing, but I thought he was more active. He had a good week of practice. 8 boards. I thought he played really good. Did Curtis have something? Okay. I don't want to leave you out.